I, along with several others, started the petition. From day one, we have endeavored to have this deep discussion about the issue. Recently, the administration has made some claims as to how our group has been going about collecting signatures. Specifically, they produced some emails with a time and place, but no names to go along with the supposed infractions. One such incident that we've been able to get to the bottom of relates to a mother collecting signatures at one of the local dance classes. The infraction alleged in an email by Stephanie Grassel stated, and I quote, "I overheard her say one of two things. One, they are practically having sex in the hallways at the high school, or two, they are having sex in the hallways at the high school." The ambiguity of what she supposedly heard is evidenced by the fact that she cannot recall exactly what was said. It turns out that the petition lady was Sue Worth. I asked her to recount in writing what was said that night. I will read it in its entirety. To whom it may concern, I am the parent that was passing out the petition at DanceWorks Unlimited. I never said that the kids were having sex in the hallway. I don't have a son in high school. My children are in 5K, 3rd, and 4th grade. I do have many concerns. The parent did ask me if she could sign for her husband, and I told her that he would have to sign for himself. I then discussed at that time that the board was going to make a decision in December on the matter for the 2015-16 school year. In my conversation, I said, "We all went to high school. Do you really want your 7th and 8th grade child subjected to that? The children have enough things that they are going through and don't need the added pressure of high school." I did state that there is no way all of the teachers will be able to be in the hallways all of the time. The 5 minutes between classes is their time to help a student that has questions with homework or has gotten in trouble during a class. This is also their time to run to the bathroom or prepare for the next class. I also stated that, do you want your 7th or 8th grader to be in high school with all of the bullying, peer pressure, drugs, sex, everything else that goes along with it? A 12th grade boy or girl could get into trouble with a 7th grade girl or boy. I was then told 3 lakes is 7 and 12 and everything is fine. I said that I heard the 7th and 8th graders are totally separated, but I don't know because I have never been with them. I also stated that the only thing that would be separated is the lockers. 7th and 8th grade would be downstairs and 9 to 12 was upstairs. This is also crazy to me. At this time, I don't even know what to say. I'm a concerned parent that doesn't want my 2 children going to high school in 7th and 8th grade. Sue Worth is a PTO member. She's a book fair coordinator. She's a classroom volunteer, a business owner, a Girl Scout leader, and a mother of 3 young children. She is not a rumor starter or a liar. I think it is clear that your people heard Sue incorrectly. Our efforts to gather signatures have been appropriate. We've disseminated data that we have been given by the administration. Please cease the rumblings that the petition signatures have been gathered under false pretenses when your own people aren't getting their stories straight. I believe that the committee to study the 7th and 8th grade move is a sham. It was intimated that the committee would study alternatives. All of the work done by the committee to date has been to validate the idea of moving forward with the moving of the 7th and 8th graders into the high school. No medical data has been researched on the long-term effects of such a move. No other restructuring alternatives, such as the recent national trend of going back to K through 8, have been put on the table to even discuss. No data has been collected, much less studied, on whether the current system works better, worse, or the same as the proposed new structure. The makeup of the committee is just as ridiculous. Let me recount who was on the committee. Administration members. Shouldn't be a surprise where they're going to come down at the end of the day. Pretty sure we know where that recommendation is going down. Teachers, whose jobs require them to publicly agree with the administration. Consult your handbook. So we know where they're going to go. Then there's 2 parents. One of those parents came out initially very strongly in favor of moving the 7th and 8th grade when it was brought about this spring. Pretty sure we know where he's going to vote and recommend at the end of the day. And finally, one parent whose daughter is best friends with Principal Brewer's daughter. Now, to his irritation, I'm sure, she's turned out to be a pretty single voice of opposition. How can a committee of this biased makeup possibly analyze unbiased manner? The answer is they can't. To properly vet an idea as enormous as this would be to have the board first appoint a committee to ascertain the possible options that are out there, including at a minimum, number one, moving the 7th and 8th graders into the high school. Number two, looking at one national trend of going K through 8. Number three, looking at another national trend of expanding our middle school to accommodate 6th through 9th grade or 6th through 10th grade. Number four, not changing anything with the way currently we're set up here at Northland Pines. Then the board should appoint a second committee made up of the electorate, balanced for predispositions, unlike the current committee, to vet all the options, with a special emphasis on collecting real studies, real medical studies, real scientifically collected data for and against each alternative. Administration should provide a support role for the committee, not a driving or a voting role. Finally, when all of the data has been collected and the debate process starts, a decision of this magnitude should never be left to a committee recommendation. The board itself should be integral to the discussion and the debate of what alternative should be chosen. You are our elected officials. Your duty is to protect and to educate our children, but especially not to harm. The Northland Pines Educational Institution has been in place under the current structure for more than 112 years in Eagle River, long predating the actual name Northland Pines. And the system isn't that bad. Nobody doubts that improvements can be made, but don't allow changes that could hurt our children. Changes that many of our electorate believe could actually hurt our children, without running an appropriate and fair process. We have elected you school board members to provide oversight, so bad processes like these current ones are not allowed to exist. We currently have 617 signatures. As a board, put your foot down and stop this madness. Stop this horribly conceived process. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.